Joe got shortchanged, so he's first up on the loser board. Joe and Murr couldn't catch up to the other guys, so they're on the loser board. Murr couldn't invent his way out of this one, so he's tonight's big loser. Joe couldn't hit the right note, so he's on the loser board. Even after all of that, Joe remains tonight's big loser. Sal kisses his win goodbye. Murr's not a good quitter, but he is a good loser. Q and Sal got fossilized, making Sal tonight's big loser. Joe couldn't produce a win, so he's first up on the loser board. Sal, Joe, and Murr couldn't find any takers, so they're up on the loser board. Looks like Joe and Murr chose poorly, but only Joe is tonight's big loser. Looks like Sal got served, so he's first up on the loser board. Sal, Murr, and Q lost, making it a dark night for Sal. Q is single but couldn't mingle, so he's up on the loser board. Q couldn't dial up a win, making him tonight's big loser. Murr and Q couldn't rope a win, so they're branded up on the loser board. Murr couldn't bust a rhyme, so on the loser board, he's doing time. Q put his boot in his mouth, so he's tonight's big loser. Pop the champagne, because all 4 jokers stayed off the loser board. Sal got a ticket to ride straight to the loser board. Murr signed himself up for the loser board, joining Sal in tonight's double punishment. All 4 jokers are safe on the slopes and safe from the loser board. Joe Gatto, party of 1, it's time for your punishment. Q, Murr, and Sal are all laughers, making them all losers. The keyword for Murr is loser, which means it's punishment time. Q and Sal couldn't muster up a win, so they're first up on the loser board. Joe couldn't take the leap, so he and Q are splashing onto the loser board. Q's out of shoes and out of luck, so it's time for his punishment. Murr and Joe couldn't beat this level, so they're first up on the loser board. Q, Murr, and Sal took the rocky road straight to the loser board. Murr just scored a front row seat to his own punishment. Sal and Joe couldn't save the elephants or themselves, so they're first up on the loser board. Both Murr and Sal were out of touch, so they wind up on the loser board. Sal's only job now is to be the big loser. It's no secret that Joe lost, so he's first up on the loser board. All the guys painted by the numbers, so there's no change on the loser board. Joe got photobombed, making him tonight's big loser. Joe and Q refused, so their sweet asses are on the loser board. All the jokers did bueno, so no one ends up on El Loser Bordo. No one knew Joe, but Joe knows it's punishment time. Joe got cold feet, so he's running away to the loser board. Murr and Q couldn't make sense of their sense, so they're stinking up the loser board.
And then, guys, if you're with me on this, I think
It's an unhappy ending for Joe. He's first up on the loser board. All the jokers were Pennywise, so they're safe from the loser board. Joe twirled his way to a win, but he's still tonight's big loser. Looks like Joe and Murr will be having a power lunch on the loser board. The results are black and white. Q and Sal have officially joined the loser board. Q couldn't go with the flow, so he's tonight's big loser. Joe and Sal couldn't seal the deal, so they're hanging up on the loser board. Murr and Sal's luck dried up, leaving them on the loser board. Sal's worst nightmare has come true. He's tonight's big loser. Game, set, match for Murr. He's first up on the loser board. Get ready, Murr. Your punishment starts now. No one did the crime, so no one's doing the time on the loser board. Q, Murr, and Sal went down like lead balloons, so it's time for a 3-way punishment. None of the jokers belly flopped this challenge, so the loser board is bone dry. Sal's writing was all wrong, making him tonight's big loser. Ladies and gentlemen, Murr and Sal have been escorted out of the stadium and onto the loser board. Murr and Sal were shot down, so their DNA is all over the loser board. Murr's memory failed him, so he's off to a punishment he'll never forget. No one got into a pickle, so all 4 jokers are safe from the loser board. Sal blew this popsicle stand, so he's tonight's big loser. No one went bust, so all 4 jokers are safe from the loser board. Everyone was clued in, so all 4 jokers are safe from the loser board. Shout out to Q, he's tonight's big loser. Murr, Joe, and Sal didn't get the gig, so they're on the loser board. The limitations on Sal's imitations make him tonight's big loser.